Oh my gosh, guys. Okay, so as you can see from most of these images, some of them are just like, they're so inspiring, they're so theatrical. There's like a level of theater, I think, to a lot of African print dresses. And I think for some of us, like, I know there's some African people who get annoyed when people say like African print and don't say which print it is. Obviously, there are different types of prints like Ankara, Kitenge, Kente, Kanga, of course. But I just feel like to make it easier to talk about, I'll just continue saying African print. But I could be talking about any prints, like prints from West Africa, prints from East Africa, prints from Southern African nations like South Africa and Namibia and places like that. But I think the most exciting thing I've noticed when it comes to African print dresses, they've become just ridiculously stylish to the point where it's like an overload of style. I feel like a few years ago, lots of African print brands definitely did things like more kind of formal, like they were used for more formal events, and they're still used for a lot of formal events. But I've just noticed way more dresses now are just used for like, just like looking glamorous, looking sexy, and they're just used for everything, like weddings, like going out with friends, first dates, wearing them for work. I used to have some African print outfits I would wear for work, and I was absolutely obsessed with them. There's so many different types. Obviously, the Kanga and Kitenge are from my neck of the woods. I'm from East Africa. And then you have the gorgeous like Ankara and Kente from West Africa, from Ghana, which is where Kente's from, and then Ankara, which is Nigerian, and then you have some stunning Ndebele clothing prints, which are very, very famous, that have these gorgeous geometric shapes on them as well. So I just feel like there's so many options that you can have, and of course those are just like three regions I've named, and I haven't even talked about like other places. I just feel like there's like a renaissance in a way of African print in fashion for Black people. And for the record, even if you're not African and you're listening to this, I do think that I love seeing African Americans and Afro Caribbeans wearing African print. I think it looks amazing on all of us. So I definitely think it's like worth like investing in a few gorgeous African print outfits. And it doesn't just have to be dresses. I think that's like the biggest thing as well that I've noticed. There's been a massive shift in how like African print dresses basically are now. It's like they're so stylish, and not just dresses, like they're like outfits, they're like crop tops, shorts, bikinis. I would just give some advice just based on my experience is if you're on the continent, you already know what it is. You know that you go to a tailor that you like, you show him a photograph of how you want your clothing to look, and then he does that. There was a really good tailor that I had, and now I've forgotten the name of his shop. If anyone lives in Dar or lives in Tanzania, actually, I think what I might do is on the weekend, I might drive by his store and see if he's still opening. But he was a really good tailor. He was like in my neighborhood. And this is what I want to go back and start doing again and get like dresses made and things like that. But anyway, so like I was saying, so I think one of the biggest things is like fit and the print itself and the texture. Kitenge tends to be a bit lighter than West African print fabrics like Ankara and Kente. Kente is, I think, real Kente tends to be a bit thicker than Kitenge, but obviously it depends because now these prints are so popular. Like what you get is a lot of reproduction. So you might have someone who has like a Kente print dress, but it's not authentic Kente. I don't know if that matters so much. Like the Ghanaians can let me know like what they think. But I found that what worked best for me was using Kitenge, which is East African. So obviously Tanzania, Kenya, Uganda, Rwanda, Burundi. But Kitenge is very popular in Tanzania and Kenya specifically. I like Kitenge for the like heat that Tanzania has. Because it's very soft when it comes to like just like wearing it, and it absorbs sweat and the elements very well. You don't feel like you're sweating when you wear like a Kitenge African print dress. You have to go to a pretty decent tailor as well. So you do need to go to a tailor who has an idea of what the hell they're doing, kind of thing. And I also just prefer African print dresses being lined. I have this thing about dresses being lined. I don't know when fashion brands decided to cut corners and not have lined dresses. So many dresses are made of polyester, and polyester will make a big sweat, okay? Like, if you live in an African country or a tropical West Indian nation, you know what time it is. You'll be sweating if your dress is not lined or if it's not made of cotton. I'm partial to Kitenge. I love Kente. I love Ankara as well. So God willing, I'll be able to try those prints very soon. I do have like a Kente, an amazing Kente outfit from our family friends who gave me this like gorgeous Kente outfit for my wedding. I just need to lose some weight so I can fit back into it. But it's really, really gorgeous. So for right now, I actually do have like a few Kente like fabric, I mean not Kente, sorry, I do have a few Kitenge print fabrics here at home that I got for my wedding, that I'm going to make some dresses and outfits from. Of course, I'll put them on the channel. I'll probably definitely do one Kitenge African print this month. And I will definitely like upload it on my blog and on this channel. But yeah, these are just some really inspiring African print dresses that I like, and I've just shared them to inspire you. I'm not taking anybody's photographs. I'm not representing that that's me. These are obviously celebrities and influencers and other models who are wearing them. I mean, you can't talk about African print dresses without talking about Grassfields. I think Grassfields have done a lot to make African print outfits and dresses very international, which is something I love. I love the idea of African prints and fabrics still being authentic, but reaching a wider Black audience and reaching a wider sort of general audience. I think that's great. But there's more than just Grassfields. You know, you can either do it like how I do, either just buy the fabric and go to the tailor. For many people who live in Tanzania and Kenya, that's cheaper than buying the dress itself, just because the cost of the labor is cheaper and the cost of the fabric itself is cheaper. But I wouldn't be against buying anything from like an African print e-commerce store either, because I think it's important to support each other's businesses as well. So yeah, so basically this is what I was just talking about. I was just feeling a rush of inspiration about African print dresses and African print outfits in general. But I guess just some other quick top tips is, like I said, make sure the dress is lined if you live in a tropical or hot country. And also, like when it comes to like African print trousers and shorts, it depends on the tailor. If it's a tailor who does like men's suits, they're going to make sure it doesn't rip. But if it's a tailor who's not used to making trousers or shorts for women, there is a likelihood that like your pants will rip or your trousers will rip. So you do need to be very careful on that as well. And just like quality tailoring, basically, I think it's better to just work with a tailor who's a bit more expensive and makes the clothing look really nice, as opposed to like a cheaper tailor and then the clothes like split or rip. And it's not because you're fat, it's because the tailoring isn't good. Okay guys, so that's basically, those are just like a few of my tips from what I've learned. Obviously goes without saying, most African print fabrics are not stretchy, so you really do need to keep your weight in the same range so that you can still fit into your outfits. Other than that, I would love to know, which are your favorite prints? Do you love Kente? Do you love Kitenge? Do you love Ankara? Do you like the South African prints instead? Let me know which one it is, and obviously don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more.